Hello, welcome to class students. Today we are going to cover the first chapter of the course Project Management, which is entitled Introduction to Project Management. In this first chapter, there are outlines, and the course outline includes in chapter 1 we will see what is a project, what is project management, the constraints of project management tools and techniques, a system view of project management, project phases and life cycles, and also we'll see project life cycle and management review. We will cover reasons for project success and reasons for project failures. We will also cover in this first chapter successful project manager. So the listed out bullets are the course outline, and this introduction to project management chapter have objectives. The objectives of this project management course includes, at the end of this chapter, students will be able to define what projects mean. They are also expected to define project management, to describe constraints of project management, to list down project management tools and techniques. Students are also expected to differentiate what is classical and system view of project management. Another objective of this chapter is students will be able to differentiate linear and cyclic project management view of project life cycle. Students are also expected to describe project life cycle and phases. Students should list down reasons for project success and failure. Students in this chapter are also expected to list down traits of successful project manager. So at the foundation of this chapter, we are going to discuss why do we need project management. Many companies in this world view projects as investment. So investment is an integral part of their strategic plan for many companies. This means the project managers must continuously demonstrate their contribution to the bottom line. So projects become integral players in using and implementing different processes. But failure to effectively manage a key project could cause a malfunction in the core process of the project. Students, as the economy expands, the key resources will become limited and project managers will need alternative ways to obtain expertise, such as by using consultant or outsourcing the project to a third party. Market pressures complicate the management of projects. Time to market pressure force project managers to be efficient and effective to an unprecedented degree. And it is more critical than ever that the pieces of the projects be in place to ensure delivery of the final service on time and within budget, and to guarantee that it be of the highest quality. Every project should be delivered with the highest quality. Now, students, we are going to look what is a project. When we define the concept projects, different ideas and perspectives might appear to our mind. A project is a discrete set of activities performed in a logical sequence to attain a specific result. Each activity and the entire project has a starting point and a stopping point, or each activity and the entire project has a start date and stop date. A project could mean any routine that demands time. So, in our case, we are going to distinguish a project and a routine in 4 ways. A project is an exception. A project involves investigating, compiling, arranging, and reporting information outside the range of usual activities, while routine is defined within the range of a department's function. So, students, you are going to differentiate what is a project and what is routine activity based on these 4 ways. One of the 4 ways is you have to understand that a project is an exception, and it involves investigating, compiling, arranging, and reporting information outside the range of usual activities. While routine is defined within the range of a department's function. So, in this case, we have understand that a project is an exception. The second way is project activities are related. Routines for recurring tasks performed in your department are related to the activities that define and distinguish that department only. Whereas the activities involved in project phases are related to one another and to a desired end result. So, projects may involve coordinating work in other departments as well as to outside sources. So, if we take an example of a customer service manager that work with the data processing manager and the marketing manager and several suppliers, this shows us that a project activities are related, whether with customer service manager, data processing manager, or marketing department, or other several suppliers. Projects are related. The third thing, or the third way, is project goals and deadlines are specific. Recurring tasks may be managed with departmental goals in mind, but these goals tend to remain fixed or move forward only with time. For example, if the customer service manager is told to compare prices and features of a software and to have complete a report within 3 months, that means these projects have a goal and deadline, which is, as it is mentioned, within 3 months, the customer service manager must compare prices and features of software. Students, the fourth way that we are going to look that differentiate projects from the routine works is projects have the desired result is identified. Routines are aimed not at one outcome, but at maintenance of processes. Whereas the research, development of procedures, or construction of systems or buildings on a project procedure is tangible, and it have a desired result or output. When we see an example here, when a customer service manager for her project expected to deliver a conclusive report, that means the desired result here is the report that will conclude what the customer service manager is expected to deliver. So these four Whys are things that distinguish a project from a routine work. Okay, students, we have discussed what is project, and now it is time to see what is project management. Project management ensures the delivery of a quality system on time and within budget. The main components of these definitions are quality, time, and money or budget. Ensuring delivery within budget requires a manager to estimate and assign the resources required by the project in terms of participants, training, and tools. Ensuring on-time delivery requires a manager to plan work effort and to monitor the status of the project in terms of tasks and work products. Finally, ensuring quality requires a project manager to provide problem reporting mechanisms and monitor the status of the product in terms of defects and risks. So, students, we have three keywords here: quality, time, and budget. So all those three aspects of the project, quality, budget, and time, are essential and need to be addressed together for the project to succeed. Project management is concerned with planning and allocating resources to ensure the delivery of quality software system on time and within budget. Project management is subject to the same barriers as technical activities. It might face complexity and change. Project management is the tools, techniques, and processes for defining, planning, organizing, controlling, and leading a project as it completes its task and delivers the results. So if we have discussed about project management this far, now we have to look what are the functions of a project management. So there are different functions of project management. We are going to list out and discuss each individual. The first thing that we are going to discuss function of project management is lead. A project manager have to inspire the participants to accomplish the goals and objectives at a level that meets or exceeds expectations. Whether defining, planning, organizing, or controlling the projects, manager uses leadership to execute the project efficiently and effectively. So one of the functions of project management is lead. The second one is define. In project management, we should determine the overall vision, goals, objectives, scope, responsibility, and deliverables of a project. This is a document that delineates the above information and is signed by all interested parties, clients, contractors, and stakeholders. The third function of project management is plan. To determine the steps needed to execute a project, assign who will perform them, and identify their start and completion dates. The fourth bullet in here is organize. Organizing involves activities such as forming a team, allocating resources, calculating costs, assessing risk, preparing project documentation, and ensuring good communications. The fifth one is controlling. Control. Controlling involves collecting and assessing status reports, managing changes to baseline, and responding to circumstances that can negatively impact the project participants. And finally, a project must be closed. So the final function of project management is close. To conclude a project efficiently and effectively, closing a project involves compiling statistics, releasing people, and preparing the lesson learned document. Students, we have looked the functions of project management as follows: lead, define, plan, organize, control, and close. And now it is time to see a system view of project management. In the past, managing a project meant focusing on three key elements of a project, which is cost, schedule, and quality. The classical approach emphasized the formal, structural aspects. Recently, however, project management has taken a more behavioral approach. The emphasis is shifting toward viewing a project as a total system or subsystem operating within a system. So when a system views of project management, it have two approaches, which is classical approach and behavioral approach. The three elements, cost, schedule, and quality, gain an added dimension. People, cost, schedule, quality all play integral roles in the success or failure of a project. So in many cases, the impact of behavioral problems can be even more dramatic. So when we view a project in classical approach or behavioral approach, we should consider these three or four elements. The three elements in classical approach are cost, schedule, and quality. However, in behavioral approach, we have cost, schedule, quality, and people. So students, you are expected to differentiate these two approaches of project management in terms of system view. Saying that, we are going to proceed with project lifecycle and management view. Today, we view the project manager's role differently. Although project managers perform the same functions, we perceive their performance not in a linear context, but in a cyclic one. Notice the word lead from our previous bulletins in the middle of the cycle. This function occurs throughout the project lifecycle and plays a prominent role in each iteration of the cycle. The typical project cycle consists of phases that result in output. In the concept phase, the idea of a project arises and preliminary cost and schedule estimate are developed at a high level to determine if the project not only is technically feasible but also will have a payback. And in the formulation phase, the complete project plans are developed. These plans often include a statement of work, a work breakdown structure, and schedules. The implementation phase is when the plan is executed and implemented in the ground. Then the final result or the final phase will be the installation phase, which is the final product delivered to the customer or to the client. So students, we have four typical project life cycles, which consists of phases that result or that gives us an output: the concept phase, the formulation phase, the implementation phase, and the installation phase. Now, let's see project phases and life cycles. At the highest level of abstraction, the development life cycle can be decomposed into three major phases: project initiation, steady state, and project termination. These three project phases have a crucial role in every project. Let's look at the project initiation. During this phase, the project manager defines the scope of the system with the client and constructs the initial version of the management model. Project initiation includes the following activities: problem statement definition. Client and the project manager define the scope of the system in terms of functionality, constraints, and deliverables. Another activity that is included in this project initiation phase is initial top-level design. The project manager and the system architect decompose the system into subsystems for the purpose of team assignment. Another thing in project initiation should be performed is team formation. The project manager assigns a team to each subsystem, defines cross-functional teams, and selects team leaders. There's also another element, which is communication infrastructure setup in project initiation phase. The project manager and the team leaders set up the communication infrastructure of the project, including bulletin boards, websites, configuration management tools, document templates, and meeting procedures. In this project initiation phase, we have also initial milestone plannings. The project manager schedules intermediate work products and terminates external deliverable and assigns them to teams. One thing that you have to bear in mind in this project initiation is there is a term called project kickoff. Project kickoff means the project manager, the team leaders, and the client officially starts the project. So project kickoff is the key concept in project initiation phase. The second phase is the steady state. During this phase, the role of team leader becomes critical. During project initiation, most decisions are made by the project manager. During the steady state, team leaders are responsible for tracking the tasks of their team and identifying problems via team meetings. The steady state activities include the following. The first one is project agreement definition. Once the analysis model is stable, the client and the project manager formally agree on the scope of the system and the delivery date. Project agreement document is derived from the problem statement and revised during analysis. Another necessary step in steady state is status monitoring. Throughout the project, team leaders and management monitor the status and compare it with the planned schedules. Are we running according to plan, or are we delaying? This should be monitored. Another basic step in steady state is risk management. During this activity, project participants identify the potential problems that could cause delays in the schedule and budget overruns. In this steady state, if plans are not working according to the initial idea or concept, a project could be replanned. So project replanning is also another step in steady state. When the project deviates from the schedule or when a contingency plan is activated, the project manager or the team leader revises the schedule and reallocate resources to meet the delivery deadline. because what we have discussed earlier is quality, budget, and time are very essential and crucial. So we should meet the deadline, we should meet the expected date. So if things doesn't go according to plan, we are obligated to replan the project schedule to reallocate resources to meet the delivery deadline. The third phase in this project phase is project termination. During this phase, the product is delivered and the project history is collected. Most of the developers' involvement with the project ends before this phase. In project termination, we have tasks that we have to perform. The first one is client acceptance test. Functional and non-functional requirements are demonstrated and tested using scenarios defined in the project agreement. So we should confirm whether the client accepts the project or not. So we should test it. Another step that we should follow in project termination is installation. The system is developed or deployed in the target environment and documents are delivered. Next to that, we have post-mortem. The project manager and the team leaders collect the history of the project for the organizational learning in all the activities, timely and accurate communication between project management, the team leaders, and the developers is crucial for determining the status of a project and for making correct decisions. A team leader can substantially improve communications by rewarding accurate reporting instead of punishing the bearer of bad news, by releasing as much information as possible in a timely manner, and by responding constructively to problem reports. Saying this, we have to see the characteristics of project management. A group of tasks performed in a definable time period in order to meet a specific set of objectives. It is likely to be a one-time program. Project management is likely to be a one-time program. It has a life cycle with a specific start and end date. Another characteristic of project management, it has a work scope that can be categorized into definable tasks. It has a budget. It is likely to require the use of multiple resources. Many of these resources may be scarce and may have to be shared with others. Project management may also require the establishment of a special organization or the crossing of traditional organizational boundaries. These are the characteristics of project management. Now, let's see what are the constraints of project management students. Result. Completion of a specific defined task or a series of tasks is the primary driving force behind a project. Other constraint of a project management could be budget. A project's budget is often separate from the departmental budget. Unlike department staff, a project team operates with a degree of independence in terms of both control and demand. The third thing is time. Projects have specific starting point and stopping points. That means a well-organized project is based on careful controls over completion phases, which involves the use of each team member's time effectively in order to deliver the project on time and in expected manner. The successful project manager. A successful project manager knows how to bring together the definition and control elements and operate them efficiently. The skills you need to just to be successful manager includes organizational and leadership experience. This could be one uh, key element for a successful project management. Organizational and leadership experience. An executive seeking a qualified project manager usually seeks someone who has already demonstrated the ability to organize work and to lead others. So, in this case, leadership experience and organizational experience is very essential. Another element that could make successful project manager is contact with needed resources. For projects that involve a lot of coordination between departments, divisions, or subsidiaries, top management will look for a project manager who already communicates outside of a single department, who could communicate within an entire department, within multiple departments. So contact with needed resources also essential. The third one is ability to coordinate a diverse resource pool. Contact outside of your department may not be enough sometimes. So you should also communicate with different departments. Another procedure for successful project manager is communication and procedural skills. An effective project manager will be able to convey and receive information to and from a number of team members, even when particular points of view are different from his own. He should accommodate different ideas, different point of views from his team, from his colleagues. Next to that, ability to delegate and monitor work is also essential. Project managers need to delegate the work that will be performed by each team member and to monitor that work to stay on schedule and within budget. That means these project managers should be able to monitor the work, the responsibilities that have been delegated to their team members. Delegation and monitoring are effective only if you are also able to supervise and assess progress. However, if you have delegated to a team member and leave him without a continuous monitoring and control, the task may be delayed, the project might be uh, out of expectation. So, ability to delegate and monitor work is also essential. The other thing is dependability. Your dependability can be tested only in one way, by being given responsibility and the chance to come through. So, in project management, a project success or failure might happen. Now, we are going to look at reasons that could lead to a project success in the two approaches that we have discussed earlier, classical approach and behavioral approach. In classical approach, well-defined goals and objectives, detailed work breakdown structure, clear reporting relationships, formal change management disciplines in place, channels of communication exist, adherence to scope, reliable estimating, reliable monitoring and tracking techniques, clear requirements, reasonable time frame, broad distribution of work could lead to success of a project. And in behavioral approach of a project management, things that could lead to success include this: agreement over goals and objectives, commitment to achieving goals and objectives, high morale, good teaming, cooperating among all participants, receptivity to positive and negative feedback, receptive culture to project management, realistic expectations, good conflict resolution, executive sponsorship, good customer supplier relationship could be lead us to a successful project development. And reasons for project failure in classical and behavioral approach includes the following. In classical approach, ill-defined work breakdown structure, high-level schedule, no reporting infrastructure, too pessimistic or optimistic estimates, no change management discipline, inadequate formal communication, inefficient allocation of resources, no accountability and responsibility for results, poor role definition, inadequacy of tools, ill-defined scope, unclear requirements, too high, too long, or too short time frame will lead to project failure. And in behavioral project management approach, inappropriate leadership style could lead to failure of a project. No common vision, unrealistic expectations, poor informal communications and interpersonal relationships, no buy-in or commitment from a customer or people doing work, low morale, lack of training, poor teaming, culture not conducive to project management, lack of trust among participants, false or unrealistic expectations, no or weak executive sponsorships, mediocre knowledge transfer could lead. These are reasons for project failures. Students, now we are going to look at project management tools and techniques. The following elements of management tools and techniques are worth to mention. Teams represent sets of participants who work on a common problem to solve a common problem to achieve the goal of the project are necessary. So teams are the basic tools of any project. Role represent sets of responsibilities. Roles are used to distribute work to participants within a team. Work products represent the deliverable and intermediate product of the project. Work products are the visible results of work. The other tool and technique of project management is tasks. Represent work in terms of sequential steps necessary to generate one or more work products. Schedules represent the mapping of a task model onto a timeline. A schedule represents work in terms of calendar time. The project manager and team leaders construct and maintain these tools and techniques elements throughout development. If a substantial deviation occurs between the planned work and the actual work, the project manager reallocates resources or changes the project environment to enhance the project progress. Thank you for your follow-up and attention. If you have any question regarding this chapter, you can forward me in box. Thank you.